So, good morning, and we are back with another reaction video. Hopefully, get back in the groove of things. We got our couple little trips we wanted to take out of the way. We've got one more short trip we're going to make, and then we should be back to somewhat of a schedule. And we're going to change things up a little bit, do a lot of stuff on some local news and delve into the political realm just a little bit. But anyway. First, I want to get this out of the way. Now, I know I usually do these in a short, but just got to give out this week's Cracksquadian Award, and and this week's recipient is none other than our toothless wonder, brutally honest with Wade Deaver, the guy with the perfect life, the perfect marriage, perfect career, perfect children, so much so that he was just horrified that a guy like me would, kick somebody off my podcast and call him a biot because they accused me of being the P word. But anyway, here we see him admitting to doing some Cracksquadian stuff, right? He says, I've only reported one person on YouTube, and that was PBR, when I had a simple copyright on one and tried to catch him. Now, what's and this day is full of hypocrisy, and you're going to see that as we move forward. What's so silly about that is here's a guy whose entire channel was nothing but running his mouth about me using my content. And, make no mistake, his issue with me was calling Ryan Upchurch out. He tried to claim it was his moral fiber that I called this lady a B and kicked her off my podcast after she called me the P word, right? And we all know that's nonsense because he hangs out with sleazebags all day that have criminal records and spousal abuse and assault charges and drug charges. And, so, he kind of tells on himself there quite a bit, right? Sometimes we're the company we keep. But for him to I think he made close to 30 videos before he ever got a response from me. And it was all my content. And I did a reaction video to one of the videos he made, one of the 30-some videos he made of using my content, running his mouth about me, right? Like he knew about my life and he could watch a 30-second video and know all about what I do all day. And just was laughable. But just to see what a cheap shot, right? I do one reaction video and he reports it to YouTube. Now, I remember when that happened and they came back and said, nope, totally fair use. No issue here. Continue with your day. And so this week's Cracksquadian Award, brutally honest with Wade Deaver for being full of hypocrisy and just a liar, basically. Which is what Crack Squad is comprised of. So anyway, getting back to the video, and this one has more hypocrisy than you can spell in a single day. Let's go ahead and get started.
Were you one of the first artists that in the country scene that kind of made it off of social media?
I would say me and Kane Brown probably were like the first two.
I ain't hating. I'm just wondering why none of y'all tell the truth.
Well, that is a little bit true because, Ryan, you never took a record deal. You're still independent. With this conversation that they're having here is about people coming from YouTube and getting signed to a record deal. You didn't get signed to a record deal. You refused it. You spit in their face because you think you're better than they are. Okay. And you listen, nobody wants to knock you for being independent. Go ahead. But being independent comes with a price, right? You've got to do all your own marketing. You've got to do all your own everything. And you're not going to get nationwide notoriety like you would being signed with a record label like Warner Brother, right? So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about YouTubers breaking into mainstream, and that doesn't include you, Ryan. It just doesn't. You're not part of that. Kane Brown is, and so is Luke Combs, and now Chase Matthew, and but you're not included in that. You didn't do that, right? I mean, we got to keep it real. Everybody knows Luke Combs got broke by doing that video with you. I'll be the first one to say that's probably Luke's best video. Definitely his best song, in my opinion. And credit where credit's due. But
Hey, y'all can think whatever the fuck you want about me. At least I'm not the country singer wearing a fucking Waylon Jennings hat and telling deliberate lies about the country music scene.
You're not? You've not told no lies about the country music scene and about your rise to fame, right? You've not told any fibs about that? You sure, Ryan, that you haven't told any fibs about that? Because I think you have. I think you've told quite a few fibs about that. Just saying, Let's see where this goes. And he's talking about Chase Matthew. Now, every one of you know that no sooner than Chase's contract was up with Ryan, Chase signed a 1-year contract with Holler Boy. And in my opinion, and this is solely my opinion, he got very little out of that, other than he did get the exposure to Ryan's fans. But I didn't see Ryan do a whole bunch to promote the kid. Ryan was writing an album about Johnny Gobble at that time. And did some songs about Johnny Gobble, and then canceled one of the gigs he had set up that Chase was going to be there. And we didn't see Ryan show up at any of Chase's concerts and make a surprise appearance. We didn't see him do videos with Chase on his channel. I mean, we did see the Broadway Girls, but that served some other purpose. That was a selfish indulgent on Ryan's behalf to get it, the industry. Didn't really have anything to do with promoting Chase. But at any rate, does anyone blame Chase at all for just not mentioning it? Because I would. After the kid fulfills his 1-year obligation to Holler Boy and says, hey, the independent thing's cool. I guess you like it, Ryan, but it ain't for me. I'm going with a label. I want that nationwide promotion that only a label can give me. And for that, you tried to destroy that boy's career. You weren't just criticizing about a third of a paragraph in some article written by some third-party person speaking about some other person, what some other person said. Chase said. You tried to take that out of context and tried to make it about you when it was just the way some third-party person worded it. Had nothing to do with Chase. Chase didn't write the article. He had nothing to do with the article. This guy was speaking on a person that was speaking on what Chase said. So it was 2 times removed, some low-level reporter writing for some low-level rag, and you used that as an excuse to try to derail this boy's career. And right in the midst of his first release with this label, he had to shut the comments off on his videos because your cult, Crack Squad, your cult, Ryan Upchurch's cult, called Crack Squad, used to be Creek Squad, but Creek Squad's got way too many good people like myself, that don't deserve to be tarred and feathered. So we have to take, so Creek Squad is pretty much no more. All that's left is the cult known as Crack Squad, which is about 300 to 500 absolute sleazy scumbag people who do scumbag stuff, live scumbag lives with scumbag friends, doing scumbag stuff constantly, right? Anybody that Ryan Upchurch roasts or calls out, his cult, Crack Squad, goes after him. Not on YouTube, doing a fair use thing, doing a fair response, making a response video, like it's supposed to be done. No. They go outside of YouTube, go to their Facebook page, contact their friends, contact old relatives, contact exes, contact places of employment, just do all kind of sleazy stuff, all on behalf of Ryan Upchurch. And they do it, they mob instantly anybody that if Ryan Upchurch turns on his camera and says, hey, so-and-so, I don't like, you can bet your bottom dollar within 10 seconds, Crack Squad's going to be all over those people. Okay. It took Uncle Will about 4 seconds to start whining that Chase had turned off his comments. Well, you know why Uncle Will went there and seen the comments, Rob, because Uncle Will was going to go there and leave some sleazy ass comments. Right? Crack Squad. You got you got the Grand Poopah, Rusty Truck, Thomas Schwartz, Frank Schwartz's daddy that he had to get to fight his fights for him. He couldn't do it in video. He couldn't do a video response. So he had to get his daddy to troll people outside of YouTube, thinking maybe that would give him some vengeance. So it's just important that we keep things in context here. Okay. I don't blame Chase one bit for just forgetting about that year. Scratch it up as a total wash and move on, because nothing positive came. All that came of it was Ryan Upchurch and his cult, Crack Squad, trying to destroy Chase's career with Warner Brother. Right? I mean, you talking about people keeping it real and telling the truth, Ryan. Well, there's the truth. Why would Chase Matthews want anything to do with you after that? What he ought to do is sue your ass.
What am I reading? What is this? This is by CMT. This is an article by CMT. When the fuck has Chase Matthew been on fucking drugs and homeless? Where is this at? I've never known about this. You mean to tell me CMT is using an apparent drug problem and homelessness as the big bold fucking letters to sell records?
Well, they could do what you do to sell records. They could drag grieving parents, say that, a beautiful young girl that dies in a tragic auto accident. They could take somebody like that and slander their family and slander all the people that are helping find her, and then go find 3 random people on YouTube and accuse them of killing her. I mean, they could do that and sell some records like you do, or they can just, hype up, and from what I got out of it, they were talking when he was 16, 17 years old, when he first left home, he was having issues, not when he was 25 and met you. So
I've never heard of this dude being homeless or on drugs. Never. Bro, a drug problem is serious, okay? Being homeless is even more serious and sad.
Yeah.
Yet they're using those big bold letters saying about this drug problem and all this homelessness with this dude to sell records.
Well, like I said, at least they're not, taking some parents that just lost their precious child and accusing them of faking the child altogether, like the child don't exist, okay, to scam GoFundMe while they're literally grieving the loss of their child in the middle of a national news story that the thing, you know, a bunch of her high school friends are being slandered and accused. And I don't think I need to say more about that.
And then in the article, it's like he went straight from that to this record label just swooped in and was like, oh, well, don't worry, we'll save you. Yeah, we gave him all these listeners. Oh, motherfucker, y'all still ain't beat the fucking Holler Boy Records video, County Line. Y'all are yet to beat that.
Yeah. And just think, if you didn't have such a fragile ego at the end of Chase's term with you, when he said, listen, appreciate what you done, got my contract fulfilled, independence not for me, I'm going with a label, I want national promotion, I want the things that a label can offer that you don't have. He gave the independent thing a whirl, and it wasn't for him. And you tried to derail this boy's career. You tried to destroy his career over your own silly ego. Not only asking for the truck you gave him back, but then claiming that he sucked and his music sucked. And now here you are bragging about how good it was. So which was it? Which was it? Because Chase Matthews is the same person today as he was the day he did County Line and Broadway Girls. It's the same talent, same voice, the same everything. But all of a sudden you claim it sucks and he's no good. But when he was under your label, he was the best thing since peanut butter. And that's just spineless shit, dude. Spineless shit. You should have said, really appreciate you working with me for that while, Chase. I wish you the best. That news article bullshit you got all hung up on was you. The reading shit between the lines, it was not there, and nobody else saw it the way you saw it, and they certainly didn't interpret it that way. Yeah. Once you interpreted it that way, then maybe some people did. But prior to that, no one did. I read that article every way you could read it, and I didn't get out of it what you claimed it said. It did not say that.
And once again, bro, listen, I'm just simply asking, why don't anyone tell the fucking truth? It is not that hard, especially when you singing about Jesus and shit all the time.
You know, that is a damn good question. And so that brings us to the hypocrisy in this video, right? Anybody remember this? Little deal here. Anybody remember this? How many remember this? The Holler Boy documentary. Supposed to be the story about the rise of Ryan Upchurch, right? Documentary. All this build up to it. And what I'm about to say are my words. These are my words. They're my opinions based on my observation. And I don't see somebody else being blamed for it. This is my opinion, my words. 10 minutes into this documentary, I was about ready to puke in my mouth. Because this was a massive bullshit lie that you put out. Where the fuck was Johnny Cashville in this documentary, Ryan Upchurch? Where was he? He's not even mentioned in the credits. Yet, he produced your 3 best pieces of work yet today. He left a national tour to come and work with you. and give you that start you needed. Now, it was your talent that carried you on. Nobody's taking that away from you. But you cannot pretend like things would have happened the same had there not been a Johnny Cashville. Right? And no, you don't go retaliate against him because I'm sharing my opinion about what I observed. Remember the Vine Day. I remember all of that. I remember you doing that gig with Cashville. Right? A bunch of us do. And then you put out a documentary, supposedly all about how it all went down, and no mention of the guy, which is a chicken shit move. It's just chicken shit. So I just think it's incredibly, just so full of hypocrisy to sit here and watch you whine now. That, oh my God, somebody's doing the same thing to you. Well, I think it's called karma. I don't blame Chase Matthew for not mentioning you ever again. You tried to derail his career over some little bullshit nonsense that was all in your head. Ego shit. And you want to criticize the label for trying to sensationalize a rise from rags to riches, which is, a story everybody's got in some way or another, right, in the music industry. And you want to act like that's just so horrible for this record label to do. But yet, what do? You pick out 3 random YouTubers and slander the ever-living shit out of them, a female. And then your cult, Crack Squad, your cult, the Ryan Upchurch cult, attacks them and is still attacking them today. One of them made a video as recent as just yesterday. 7 months later, they're still bothering this lady Upchurch. This random lady that you singled out and accused her of heinous crimes for over a month, solid, video after video, slandering grieving parents, slandering volunteers, slandering acting like you were the only person in the world that could investigate something from your keyboard in Tennessee. Like you knew more than the investigators that were on the ground there, physically touching evidence and physically talking to people, not sharing it all with you because they had no obligation to. Knowing they had a video from a fire tower watching her drive into the water. Yeah. And now here we are. Just some more blatant hypocrisy. This is what happens when you do drugs, dude. You don't think clear. You don't think that was shitty to leave Johnny Cashville out of this Holler Boy documentary? Because I think it was damn sleazy. It really turned me off at the time. I thought, what the hell, man? And I know I wasn't alone in thinking that. And this, not one peep from Cashville, not one peep. He never mentioned it. He took it on the chin with his mouth shut. Didn't he? That's what you call class act. He could have made videos whining, oh, you guys left me as bullshit. No, but then Johnny Cashville says, well, you know what? And again, this is me talking. This ain't Johnny Cashville talk. This is just my opinion. Cashville starts talking about maybe doing his own little documentary about his, how he got where he got. And that story would include his time with you. That is his story to tell. And you have a big shit fit about it. Like he's not allowed. Or you'll do this to him, or you'll do that to him, or you'll take the records down, or you'll quit paying him his royalties, or you'll do this, or you'll do that. If he tells his story, but you can tell yours and just leave parts out that matter. So yeah, shout out to Kansas Rebel Man. This is some chunks from his video I'm using. But listen, it's just absolute.
And that's the thing. Like, I ain't just pulling this shit out of my fucking ass for no reason. Motherfucker, we have social media now. We're living in a time of social media. If somebody wants to know if your motherfucking ass is lying, they can just go look at the data and the fucking date. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Shit's wild.
That and that date were, Johnny Cash.
I mean, don't y'all want to have good credibility for, like, giving props to people and shit?
And your freaking ego will not admit that part that is part of the story. Well, I don't care what your beef with him is. You can't tell a story about the Holler Boys' rise to fame and leave that out and it be an honest documentary. Period. You can't. But you did. And now you're whining because somebody did it.
Telling the truth about the timeline of the music scene right now. What, everybody wants to just tell the fake story? Hey, man. Y'all can all do that shit.
Because I'm going to do it too. See my documentary? I got one called Holler Boy. There's all kind of fake shit. Like the first 3 years of my career.
I'm going to keep my credibility perfect over here.
My 2 biggest shows.
And y'all can just...
My 3 biggest albums.
Stay over there.
That guy that was there for all that. Yeah.
If I've ever talked about you on here about some shit like this, hey, don't ever ask me for a motherfucking favor. I'm going to say, hell no.
I don't think, something? Well, let me tell you. I'll tell you something. I don't think you got to worry too much about it anymore, Ryan. I don't think you're going to get people knocking down your door wanting favors because your favors come at too high of a price. You do a favor for somebody and now they got to be your bitch for the rest of your life. And if they're not, then you slander them. It's just rinse and repeat. You've done that to almost everybody you worked with. You won't give credit, every time you do. Yeah, okay. Can I Get an Outlaw is a big song, but you're not even willing to admit it's partly big because of Luke Combs. Because without that hook, without that chorus, it's just another rap song. So it took 2 people, not 1, 2 people for that to be a huge success, right? You and Luke, not you. I know you want it to be just you, but it wasn't. It was you and Luke Combs, right? And the verse is just as good as the chorus, and the chorus is just as good as the verse. Makes the whole song. Just like Johnny Cashville leaving a national tour to come and work with you and give you a start. Now, after that, your talent carried you on. That's great. It's wonderful, but you can't leave out the part that he got you there. Sorry, dude, but some of us remember. So I just wanted to throw this on the end right here and let everybody know I did hear from Xana Mae's mother. She's on her way to Ukraine with some supplies that are badly needed from the GoFundMe. They had the Chinese auctions and GoFundMe and raised the money. And these are things that are just, these are her friends, her coworkers, people she went to school with, people she knows, people she worked with for years. And she's putting herself at pretty big risk going back there. So for some of you that care, maybe keep her in your prayers and wish her good luck, or hopefully she'll do an interview with us while she's there to let us know like what's going on, like on the ground and stuff. And the supplies she's taken have nothing to do with the taxpayer money that's been sent to the Ukrainian government. It's two completely separate things. This is her helping coworkers, friends, relatives, neighbors with things that they can't get right now due to not only the COVID shortage, but then the shortage of supplies due to a war. So for any of you that care, wish her luck, and hopefully we'll get an interview while she's there. If you're watching, I wish you all the luck. Please be careful.